Hold on a second. Let me fix my seatbelts. All right, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to Illegal Alien Racing. This is an 11-lap final at DKC in the heavies class. There are 25 drivers in this one, and I didn't have a very good pre-final race, so I am starting 12th. Mid-pack and no man's land where I don't want to be, but this is where I am. Let's make the best of it. All right, getting ready for the start here, trying to get a better start than last time. And green flag on the right-hand side, you see Mr. Kart Rage himself. Always gets a great start. I know what he's doing. I know how he does it. All right, turn one, don't spin, don't get spun out. The next corner had some water in the last race. I don't know if it's still wet or not. Turns out that it was not wet. The light guys had their race before ours, and they ended up drying that corner out pretty well, so it wasn't a problem in our race like it was in the pre-final. All right, so we got a big group of guys here. Let's see if I can get a spot. Okay, we get that one, and let's just settle in and try to pick them apart one by one, but get a good run here, go for it. Get pinched down a little bit by Mr. Kart Rage, but he's not raging at this point. It's completely, you know, it's not a big deal. A little bumping, no big deal. All right, I'm in a bad spot here. I don't like being right here. Watch what happens to Kart 28 on the inside. Right there, he hits me, and I go mowing the lawn. The lawn's wet too because it's been raining. And then, so you see right there, the cart is a little tough to drive in that corner with wet tires, and they quickly dry off, so I'm back on my way. So number 28, I don't know if he spun on his own or if he got hit as he was getting ready to make his turn. That caused him to spin. He's an experienced driver, so I, find it hard to believe he spun by himself. But I watched a different angle of that from someone else's video, and I couldn't tell, so I don't know what happened there. All right, so I take a really crappy turn there, turn one, and you see two guys over-under on me. Nice moves. Trying to figure out where I'm at position-wise, but when you're running mid-pack and a lot of stuff happens, it's really hard to figure that out. I try to count, but again, it's kind of hard to drive at the same time and try to count cars in front of you. But we just do the best we can. All right, so see what we got here. It's a good move there. I'm gonna try to take a spot, and I'm in the same spot I was in this part of the track, very last lap. Didn't turn out well for me this time. You don't go through the grass, which is always a good thing. Get challenged there for that spot. I'm able to hold them off, and let's just settle in and keep racing. I definitely like this kart a lot more than my last kart in the pre-final. All right, watch this. Number one here gets a good run, and then uses number 6 as his brakes around the corner. Number 6 kind of makes a motion with his hand that he didn't like that. Right there, you'll see me. I'm in the exact same spot here in a few laps. And what I do is the gap is there. I go for it, but I check up a little bit, and I kept it tight to the inside. You'll see that here in a few laps. And try not to hit the driver to the outside, who happens to be Chris. I just don't like to race that way. And I know the guy in kart 1, he watched the last pre-final. He commented in the comments, and he was apologetic and very nice about it and stuff. And and I responded something like, "It's not a big deal. It's all good." I think he said something about dive bombing, if I remember correctly. Well, anyways, rental league racing, whether it's here or wherever you live, that's really the place, a really good place to start, learning about karting as far as driving etiquette. And they call it racecraft, which is basically, how could I explain this? Like, if you have good racecraft, you don't dive bomb people, you don't push people out of the way, things like that. You have finesse when you pass. So that's a good place to work on your racecraft and just kind of your strategy as far as passing people. So, it's expected. If you're rental league racing, man, you're going to get guys that are going to dive bomb you and race you a little rough here and there. It's just part of the deal. And but like, you know, I really, if I need to go back and post some of my very first race footage. I kind of embarrassed sometimes by some of the stuff I did. I'm like, man, I cannot believe I made that move. That was a stupid move. What was I doing? But as you get more experience, you learn, and a lot of these decisions are made in a fraction of a second, whether you're going to go for a move or you're going to back off. So, I'm sometimes critical of people when we're driving, but part of that is because, you know, I try to race people clean, but part of it is too because I want to try to promote a nice, clean racing environment for everybody. That way, it's a lot more skillful for everyone to pass people with finesse. Here's where I do the same thing. Here's Chris in front of me. You'll see a gap open up. And right there, I kind of stay to the inside. I don't hit Chris. Again, I think it's better to sacrifice yourself and check up a little bit and don't skate up the track and hit the next driver. So back to what I was saying, I'm trying to promote really clean racing. It just makes it more enjoyable for everyone and benefits everyone. All right, so right here I'm behind cart one. He takes good lines, and you'll see this back end wiggle right there. See how it wiggled? And opened the door for me, and I'm able to get next to him and finish the pass. My camera angle has started just going down further and further. I know how that happens, so I'll make the adjustment and fix that for the next race. But it is kind of cool now that my cart's kind of in the shot as a reference point. It's kind of neat to see what it looks like back there. All right, so this guy gets a good run on me, and number one is behind him. They get a good run on me, and then we go into turn one here, and boom, he hits me, almost spins me out. And I give him the classic little finger wag right here. Not really happy because he almost got spun out and would not have been good. I know it wasn't intentional, but we're racing. I don't care. I was like, hey, man, don't be bumping me there. I know it's nothing personal or anything. It's just racing stuff. But again, we're being competitive, and at the moment, I know it's rental kart racing, but we're being competitive, and it's just, you know, by this point, that I'm over it. We forgot about it. We're moving on. I don't know that my finger wags are that effective because I whacked my finger at a few people the last race, and didn't seem to help a whole lot, but at least I didn't cuss them out. There's no reason to use that kind of language. Well, sometimes it is. It's kind of funny when people do, but I try to keep it clean. All right, so NASCAR has Crank It Up, so let's crank this up, and I'll quit talking for a lap. All right, so I'm back. I hope you're glad I'm back. So I'm gonna keep talking. Plus, I had a couple of sips of Monster Energy, so I have a little bit more energy now. Should be a little peppier for this last half of the race. So you saw me take a really crappy line in turn one. Seemed to have a little trouble there with this kart on that race. Just a rough night, and doesn't look like my week gets any better. I'm going to post a couple other races from Lone Star Kart Park. I'm in that rental league races with that rental league series as well. And man, I'm telling you, I just had a rough week. I always tell people, like my fellow racers that are my friends, you know, when things are going well, which things were going very well for me in the last month. I think I had 4 wins in a row. I can't get too high on top of the world because you'll have, you know, races and weekends and weeks like this where things just don't go well for you, you know, compared to where you expect, how you expect them to go. At the same time, though, you can't get too far down on yourself because we've got the next race and it's a new day and, you know, we can come back and do better. Do much better there in turn 1, keep it nice and to the bottom. So I'm trying to catch this guy ahead of me, get a spot. I like to give them a bump there sometimes, let them know I'm back there. Plus, sometimes it freaks them out and they drive worse. Not that that's happening to this guy, but sometimes people get a little nervous. All right, looks like we have 2 to go. Let's see if I can make this move. Man, another crappy line in turn 1. I suck. I want to pass him on the exit of this chicane, these next 2 turns here if I can, or turn 10, a left-hander. Nope, not even close. Man, I'm having trouble here. And we're running out of time. All right, so watch what happens here. He's ahead of me pretty good, and then he slides out, and I have nowhere to go and just run into him. I almost spin him out. So right there, I'm like, hey, go ahead of me. And he didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I'm just pointing. But what I was trying to say there is I didn't mean to bump into him right there. I didn't really have anywhere to go. But I'm going to give the position back. So if you haven't heard me talk about anything before, one thing you can do, like that could have been a penalty on me had they seen that, which I don't know if they did or didn't, but if you give the position back, they shouldn't have penalized you. So it's best to give the position back and then try to pass them later like I did versus just taking the pass and then you get penalized, and no matter what you do, you end up, you know, 1 or 2 spots back from where you finish. So it's just kind of the smart thing to do in my opinion. All right, this is the last lap. We're bringing it at home. I got the guy behind me. Got a couple of carts in front of me. Pushing hard. Just don't think I'm going to be able to catch him. And we're in 8th place here. Not where I want to be, but it's where I am. Just a few more turns and you guys can get back to whatever it is you're doing. But thanks for sticking with me this long in these races. I hope you like them. They're actually a lot of fun, and I like making these videos and just kind of talking through them. You get to relive the race a little bit, communicate with people, so that's always fun. All right, a funky camera angle there. Going down the straightaway and get a little bit of a challenge, but able to hold on to 8th place. And man, rough weekend, or rough day rather, but it's over. And say hello to another driver. All right, that was it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.